Onur, well, the relationship between Erdogan and Trump is pretty testy. It has been. It's significant that he is actually having a bilateral with President Trump later today. What's on slate? Is it deals or is it politics they're going to be talking about?
It's a great point. Everybody likes to talk about how the two have a great rapport, which they probably do, but the relationship hasn't been smooth over the years. We have seen them basically argue over diplomatic routes over the past few years. There was even a time when President Trump threatened to destroy Turkey's economy with a tweet 6-7 years ago,
and the currency collapsed.
That's true. It was back in 2018, and the last trip by Erdogan to the White House was in 2019. So this time around, it's a completely different world. Obviously, there is upside for both leaders from this meeting. Erdogan is going to show up with a very big shopping list, and that's the main thing that he is going to try to leverage to turn the meeting from a commercial deal alone into something that marks a turning point for the relationship, which, as you said, has been testy over the last few years. And Erdogan wants that to come to an end, because that's also important for his own political career. So we're going to see today that President Erdogan will show up with a big shopping list and will want to make this meeting a turning point in the bilateral ties.
How do you think the U.S. views Turkey as a partner in terms of advancing their ambitions for Syria? Because what we saw this week was a very global recognition, rehabilitation of the Syrian President Ahmed al-Shara. There has been Turkish support for this new Syrian government. To what extent do you think the U.S. may feel, or President Trump may feel, that it is important to work with President Erdogan when it comes to Syria and the development of Syria in the coming years?
Syria has definitely been at the center, at the heart of the relationship over the last 10 years, at least since 2015, when the U.S. first started arming Kurdish militant groups in the area that Turkey always said were a bunch of terrorists, right? And there was a big disagreement. Now, on the other hand, they do share a lot in common, especially since the fall of Assad last year. Now, just like the U.S., Turkey does want al-Shara and his government to be part of the international community again, but still there are some key disagreements. And again, those disagreements surround the issue of Kurdish militants in the area. As you know, Turkey had its own peace process with an insurgent Kurdish group, but now they fear that some of those Kurdish insurgents may slip into Syria and continue to pose a threat to Turkey from there. The U.S. is not exactly on the same page, but at the same time, the upside to both countries from collaboration in Syria is so great that at least Turkish officials see today's meeting paving the way for greater collaboration in Syria, especially in terms of making al-Shara and his government stronger and part of the international community.